Very briefly, the principle of AyinBase, and that creates a distinction amongst all the people. And I'd like to take a little time. What is so significant about AyinBase? As a result, as I said, there's a bracha, a special bracha that you make when you have a very large gathering of people. And we have a whole explanation about what kind of beetle it is and so forth, where it's coming from. We have a constant interaction. One thing's like this, one thing's like this, and they discuss it and they come to a conclusion. Let's do it this way. They come to a compromise. They come to an understanding of each other's opinion. In the same show, it seems to be a categorical distinction. What's so significant about that? It is true, is it not, that they were all created by the same Creator, and their neshamas all come from the same source. So what's so significant? The fact that they finally get together. They learn to understand each other. This brings us to a more fundamental question. This creature called human being, Adam, which by God's declaration was the essential reason for the whole creation. And he was given jurisdiction to rule the entire world. And he was given the task to create, to develop the world, and to make the world into a world, into a real world. What kind of creature is this? And he is the last one to come onto the scene. All the others were before him, so they are already all citizens. They know what's going on better than he does. He comes and he takes over. Not only he takes over, all the animals gather around him and they bow to him. In a moment, in a time when things have still, so to speak, in the clear, the animals gathered around Adam Moshe. And Adam immediately, as he opened his eyes, became the ruler of all the animals. And these were animals before the Chet, at the time when the Nochis was able to speak, was able to contrive all kinds of different gimmicks. And all that is focused and is a derivative and is due to one principle in which Adam is distinguished from all other animals. And this principle is called dayas. Dayas does not mean smart, because as we know, and the Gemara speaks about it, there are animals that are smart. They are smart in obtaining their prey, in catching their prey. They can create all kinds of circumstances to trap their prey. Like I mentioned to you, and this is something which is in my long talk, I was in 770, and the Bochim were all excited. Couldn't find some kind of a balance. He said, you know, there's this animal, I remember he told me which one it was, that was observed standing on the bank of water, on a lake or a river, standing by the edge, throwing some food pieces into the water. And the fish would come up to take this food. This was a bait for the fish, regular bait. Fish would come out to catch this food. And as the fish came up to catch this bait, he would catch the fish. That's smart. She's smart, as smart as a human being. And yet we say there is something unique about the human being, from which he is distinct, and there is nothing comparable to him in the entire creation. That we all sense, that we all know, but what is it? And this special quality is identified with one word, dayas. What's so magical about this word? Cut through to the center. I can go around and building this, the wonder of it, which make it more meaningful to understand, but nevertheless, at this moment we'll cut straight to the center. And we will use again the analogy that we've used recently a lot. The analogy of the host and the guest. The host is the one who invited his guest to come and join him for lunch. Lunch means sitting down at a table and eating lunch together. And then we say that the most important aspect, the most significant aspect of this entire episode is not the interaction between the host and the guest. Not he's coming, let's come together, we'll discuss business, we'll discuss Torah, that's not what it's about. It is something which I'm not even going to attempt to define. We all recognize it, but really it is from a different realm than our regular thinking process. This is within our own experience. We all recognize this. And we say someone who does not recognize it, hey, you're lacking dayas. You're not about dayas. Like we said, if the host should pick up and leave after having served the lunch to the guest, we all recognize it as a shock. You have destroyed a great thing happening. A great happening. Why did I destroy it? I've been giving you lunch. I lived up to my promise. And yet, everyone understands. I mean, most everyone, there's always exceptions. Most everyone who lived like a human being for 2 days understands that this is just out of the question. You have destroyed a great thing happening. Greater than the lunch, greater than the best food you can serve. And we are at a loss to explain that great things are happening. Right? At a loss. When they're together.
This gave me a relief. I couldn't explain this.
What?
I said, this gave me a relief. I couldn't explain it. I was feeling very bad. So.
They were individuals before they got together. They're individuals as they are together. They're individuals when they separate. When the guest is going to eat the food, is going to eat the food with his own mouth. And it's going to go into his stomach. And he's going to experience the taste on his own. It's not going to taste better because the host is saying this is tasty. It's going to taste better, good or bad, based on his own judgment. What has happened over here? It's a totally intangible element. We can right away see it's a totally intangible element. What is this intangible element? The truth is that this get-together from the perspective of just getting together, is some kind of an imaginary reality. As we said, it's not dependent on the food that's being served. It's not dependent on the interaction, on the conversation that's taking place. There is not a defined purpose of the getting together. It's not that getting together to discuss a certain point. Just the getting together. What is it?
What this word imaginary in here? It's just being used in the sense of intangible, inexplicable. What's imaginary?
Okay. So far, this is to be held in abeyance.
Okay.
I'm saying it seems like an imaginary thing. What is an imaginary thing?
Rabbi Paltiel?
Yes, sir.
What is the thing that happens that is going to destroy this total experience? You said before.
If they separate, if the host gets up and leaves after serving the lunch, you say you've destroyed something extremely significant, and you can't make up for it. It appears to be something imaginary. There's nothing to put you. It's nothing tangible. There's nothing to put you in. The haraya, that itself is a proof that if you broke it, you can't restore it. It's like the principle. As long as a person's alive, if he's not well, you can bring him back. You can cure him and bring him back to wellness. If Chas v'Shalom leaves, there's nothing you can do. This connection between the neshama and the guf is not within human purview. We cannot do anything to bring it together. This is a godly reality which we have no understanding of at all. And yet, we are constantly experiencing it. Not only we experience it, we treasure it. And this is the most important thing that there is. But what is it? He said the key to this special human quality is the union of dayas. The distinction that which distinguishes Adam from all other creatures is that Adam has dayas. As I said before, daya. The translation of the word daya means no, not smart, not figuring out, not conniving, not planning, not talent. This dayas, again, this is known only to the one who's experienced, who has it. Externally, you can't know. Yeah, let's so to speak cut to the play.
You say externally you can't know it. That's like the hosting the guest knowing, being able to describe what's really going on through any other means, like the food or anything like that.
That's right. There's none. There isn't anything.
You can't describe
It is not. It's not dependent on anything.
Yeah.
principle of this dayas is precisely this. God created the world. Like we said yesterday, that when even approaching Har Sinai, they had this phenomenal insight, phenomenal beetle to stand there as one person, all 600,000 of them, and be able to announce Naaseh keilim Nishu. And the question was asked yesterday, but this was before Matan Torah. Remember that, Baruch? This was before Matan Torah.
I always remember everything I ask.
What?
Anything I say, I always.
He said he always remembers everything he asks.
This was before Matan Torah, so what happened over there? They came to the mountain, and then something profound had occurred. So profound that this is the merit for all generations. What happened? What happened was that they were told that on this mountain God intends to give them His Torah. This knowledge, this piece of information that they were given had such a profound effect on them that it changed their whole personality. Not really changed it, because they still retain their personality, but it joined them together in a perfect union. Just to know that this is happening. Yet before anything happened. Was this an imaginary, that they projected something? Or was this something real? If this were an imaginary phenomenon, they projected something, so then the union would also be a projection. But that is not
sort of like, is it this sort of like in the Muslims, they were told the host was having them to dinner?
Mm-hmm.
Before they came.
Yeah.
Wait, is this not like being in the presence of the host? This is not being invited. This is like
They were
there
told.
with him.
They were told that he's coming to give him a Torah. That already had this phenomenal effect. They came to the plaza around the mountain. They came to Har Sinai. Just upon arrival, they had this phenomenal recognition.
That's when they said Naaseh b'nishma on
Soon after that.
arrival. Soon after.
A day or two after their arrival.
Okay.
Moshe did all kinds of preparations for them and told them what's going to happen. And then they said Naaseh b'nishma. But it's all happening before it's happened.
This is a question here, or this is the point that this is the dayas?
We're trying to identify dayas, and I'm coming around to it.
Okay.
And I'm saying this seems to be projection. If this were a projection, so then the beetle would also be projection. But it wasn't projection, it was real. This is the phenomenal aspect called das. If we were to put words to that, it is like this. There is a truth, a godly truth. This is beyond our understanding at all. Totally. We cannot make sense of it. We cannot put hands and feet to it. Like the Rambam says, Motzui Rishoin. There's nothing preceding it, so you can't put it together. That's the reality itself. The human being has the ability to know, just to know that such reality exists. It's motivation that there is. That's what I say that Leider sheyesh lo motivation. To know that there is this. This das is not a comprehensive das. It's not the das as a result of comprehension. It's a das that emanates from the reality of the human being himself. He was given a reality, and this reality, he knows reality.
This is beyond Emunah?
This is beyond Emunah. Emunah is based on this das. Emunah, you know what you believe. This is beyond. This is Motzu Rishon. Rishon, Motzu Rishon, define what it is. So this Eidesehem Shavis. What's it? It's very. What is it? Das in the human being. Das means that he knows the reality of reality. He knows that reality is real. And it is not due to any consequences or any experience. He knows that when you say in our terms, life is for real. And therefore, he approaches it with full responsibility. Right here in this physical world. Okay, we have to interrupt because the time is moving on faster than we can talk. All right. Fine.